Today we're going rosy, we're going soft, we're going sultry, we're going wearable. Let's get into the look. I am using a little bit of the Rare Beauty Illuminizing Primer. I'm at like the end of the bottle. Like I literally just put it in my product empties because I want to film a product empties for you guys. So I'm not really using the amount that I would want to use, but I'm just trying to use up that product. So that is on my face for the glow. Now we have a couple little friends, and we're going to cover this with the Makeup Revolution. Okay, I think this is discontinued, but it's a potted concealer from Makeup Revolution. This is their Conceal and Fix, the Ultimate Coverage Concealer with Salicylic Acid. Any potted concealer will do. It's my favorite way to cover up acne is just using a potted concealer because it is a thicker consistency that dries down really, really well, and you're going to get really, really nice coverage from a potted concealer. I'm going to go with this cute little sample bottle I have of the Haus Labs foundation. When I run out of these samples, which by the way, you should totally go to their website and get a sample. They're $12 for 3 shades in these little glass vials. Honestly, they last so long. I've had them for a couple months now. I don't use them all the time, but it's a really good deal. Basically, it's only the price of shipping. And basically, they send you these 3 sample bottles, okay? And you only pay shipping if you order a full size within 21 days. If you go past that 21-day mark and you don't order a full size from their website, they will charge you an additional $12. But to me, that's worth it. $4 a piece for these vials that go so long, and this foundation is so great. And for you to get the perfect shade, I would honestly do this before purchasing the full size. I love that they do this. Of course, unless you know your actual shade. This is the shade 210 Medium Light Neutral. I'm going to use my Palladio foundation brush, as always, to blend this out. You guys know everything that I absolutely can link will be linked underneath my beauty must-haves. I do earn a small commission. I'm sure you guys are like hip and know that by now, that people do earn very small commissions from my Amazon affiliate links. But it doesn't charge you any more to order it from there, and don't feel obligated to buy something that you aren't in the market for or don't need. I just always add that in there because specifically on TikTok, where I have blown up and have the majority of my following, I get asked all the time, what is that? Where is it? Where can I get that? And this is a Sally's Beauty brand. So if you don't go to Sally's often or you don't want to have one near you, it is easier to buy things and more accessible to buy things off Amazon, I feel like, than someone's website typically, because you're already usually paying for Amazon Prime. At least we are in my house. We don't pay for a lot of subscriptions, but Amazon is just worth it for us. Now I'm going to push this in with my sponge, as I do with all of my foundations. I just feel that it makes everything last longer and look a lot more seamless and flawless. But I go in with the brush first because then I feel like it doesn't compromise the coverage that I get. This is the Made by Mitchell Curve Case in medium. I have been obsessing over this and using nothing but this lately. It is a palette full of cream contours and bronzers and blushes, and it is so beautiful. It blends so beautiful. It's so buildable. It is some of the most creamy, radiant texture I've ever used. I'm so happy that I asked for this for Christmas and received it, because it truly is so much better than I thought it was going to be. The Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation Brush. This is it's a pretty penny. I bought it like 6 years ago because the worker talked me into it and I couldn't say no. So that's okay. It's okay. Actually, we're gonna put the new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Corrector underneath her eye today. We're going to use the Peach Faux Filter Color Corrector. I feel like this really does add a very nice light layer of purple correction, and that's what I have the most issues with under my eye, is a bit of like a purpley. And I'm just going to blend this out with a brush, and it's just going to give us this really nice light wash of color that is going to counteract that purpley blue vibe from the veins and the dark circles and all of that. And then when we go over it with concealer, you're not even going to be able to tell there was ever blue there or ever a peach. And that is what color correction is really truly all about. I'm going to use whatever's left over just really lightly over my eyelid to kind of help counteract those veins. Okay, so now that we've corrected, we can go ahead and go in and bronze up the skin. I'm going to be using the shade Caramel Chisel today to bronze up the skin on this brush. This is also linked, like I said, it is definitely on the pricier side. But it is a 6-year-old brush that I have had, and I have never regretted owning it. It applies product so seamlessly and flawlessly. So if you are in the market and you need something, this is good for bronzer, it's good for blush, it's good for foundation, cream foundation, liquid foundation, powder foundation. Like, it is one of the most universal brushes I have ever owned. It just applies everything so easily. And I'm all about convenience these days. What's the quickest? What do I not need to wash off? What is going to give me a blend quicker? Because there really aren't a lot of bad products anymore. It used to all be hits and misses, and we used to like see those videos and be like, okay, that's a product I'm going to avoid for this reason or that reason. But nowadays I feel like all products really are pretty good or pretty comparable or pretty reasonable. So it's all about like the price, the quality, the finish, the color payoff, and like what your specific needs and wants are for your skill level or for your desirability. And I love that we're in a place where that's how makeup is, but it's just interesting because really I don't think there are a lot of like misses or bad products on the market. It is definitely more so like about your preference. Since we are going for a more rosy look today, I'm going to use the shade A Shy Boy on my cheeks. I'm going to use the Real Techniques setting brush for this. I do know that this is linked, and it is a setting powder brush, but I do use it for most of my cream products. That's just how I like to use it. I feel like it disperses and blends things really nicely. The tried and true end all be all, the Tarte Shape Tape 20S Light Sand, because I do get asked very often what shade I use. I'm going to mix that with a little bit of a more moisturizing, more hydrating concealer formula. Sometimes I use the Maybelline Fit Me. Today I'm going to use the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. And this is going to help tone down that brightness and also blend this concealer a little bit easier and give me just a more hydrated looking under eye, which can appear more youthful. We don't want like a crepey, dry under eye, and I'm feeling a bit dry. I just got my voice back, so I plan on filming for the podcast today, and I have a really cool YouTube video I'm excited about coming out for you guys that I barely made it through, but I did, and I enjoyed it. It's something new, it's something different. I'm excited for it. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? We are not doing anything as a boyfriend and girlfriend. We are just like saving money. That is an agreement we came to together. It was actually my idea. My boyfriend was like, absolutely, that sounds great. But I am gonna have my aunt and my sister over for a cute little Galentine's Day night, just to like hang out and catch up and just chill and, you know, enjoy life. I feel like we need to really focus on spending time with our loved ones and enjoying life when we can and where we can. So I am trying to make a conscious effort of doing that this year, and I didn't do it in the month of January. I obviously seen them at Christmas, but I want to make a more conscious effort of seeing them all together at least once a month, if not every other month at the bare minimum. I'm sure you have all heard by now that Huda Beauty came out with a peach pie setting powder. We can all die happy. Genuinely, we can live a better life now because of this powder that now exists. I wish it smelled like peach pie. That would be, since it's so heavily scented, it would be really cool. I'm just gonna go in and gently tap this under the eye to set everything so we can get into this rosy eye look. Look how just flawless that made me. Like, this powder truly is that goal. It is, I love it. My favorite is the Makeup Revolution translucent setting powder, or if you're a little bit darker complected and you want brightening effect, the banana powder from them is so good, and it's like $8 for 1.12 ounces. I've talked about it before. It is linked in my beauty must-haves. I'm going to use the Rose Quartz palette by Huda Beauty. It is more like pinky and amethyst purplies, but I'm going to probably use these two shades right here to get that rosy effect. So I'm going to go in with shade Gratitude on a big fluffy brush and just wash this over my crease. I want this to be soft and somewhat subtle, like not too over the top, but yet still sultry and romantic and rosy. So I'm definitely going to have like blurred edges, blown out. I think we're going to do a little bit of glitter. I think we are. But this Gratitude shade is just really, really perfect for this rosy vibe, I feel like. I have this Ofra eyeshadow palette. I'm going to use this shade Sublime. Taking this on a very tiny fluffy brush. And I'm going to just add this right to the outer corner for just the littlest teensiest bit of dimension, okay? I'm not going to blend this all the way into the crease at all. I'm just keeping it on the outer corner. And I am still keeping that rounded shape because I feel like that's more blown out and soft glam than like an extreme cat eye. I'm going to go back in with that same brush that we used the shade Gratitude with and just make sure all my edges are really blended and seamless because that's going to give us that romantic, sexy effect. Then I'm going to take that fluffy brush and that darker shade and go up underneath my eye with it. This is also going to really add to the sultriness of this. It's like a rosy, soft, smoky eye. I'm going to make a cherry pineapple mocktail for our Valentine's Day. I'm really quite excited about that. And I think we're going to have no-bake cookie dough, make a recipe that we can eat just as cookie dough for fun, maybe get some like girly M&Ms, like Valentine's Day candies, and then we might just throw in a rom-com and do some fun like canvas painting, nothing serious, just something chill. Using this shade Tempo, which is a lighter, dustier rose color, almost like a light pink, but with a rosy undertone. I'm going to pack that on this kind of brush and just gently feather out with light pressure this under eye shadow. I'm going to go into this Natasha Denona palette. There's a shade up here called Flare, and it is the perfect shimmery, like it's not a glitter, it's a shimmer. I'm going to spritz with my NYX Prime Set and Refresh on this little flat top brush right here and dip my brush straight into that shimmer. Pick up the powder, pick up that color, Lord. And with this brush, I'm just going to apply this all over the lid space where we don't have any shadow. And you can just do a light wash or you can build up the intensity of this. I'm going slightly above my crease so that it doesn't transfer in my crease and look unintentional. It is just so soft, subtle, but yet beautiful. It's the perfect rosy shade. I have this Rose d'Oro Milani Baked Blush and just tapping this on the apples of the cheek just for a little bit more of that rosy color. Keep the rose theme going and use the rose setting spray from Mario Badescu. I'm just going to add a little bit more hydration and dew back into the skin. I'm going to use the shade Flutter from this Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette, the same palette we picked up that rosy shade from. I'm just going to highlight the inner corner subtly. Maybe not so subtly. I feel like if we put a little bit of this in the center, it's going to catch the eye in such a pleasant way. Just add a little bit of reflect right there. I made the hugest difference, and it's the smallest little thing. Playing around with makeup in such a subtle way like this can really, really change your look for the good or for the worst. It just kind of depends, but it's fun to play with. I like to do it right before I wash my makeup off and get in the shower for the night. I like to sit down and kind of like experiment with new products or layer or add stuff on top and see what kind of effect it gives and what kind of difference it can make in my makeup. That's just like a fun little tip and trick if you want to do something like that, you know. Using the Tint Idol Ultra Precise Waterproof Liner from Lancome in Maple Syrup Brown, I'm just going to line the top of my eye. This is just going to add a nice base for our lashes to sit on and that extra step of subtlety of romanticizing this smoky, warm, rose-toned eye. For a smoky eye like this, I do suggest, even if it's soft and subtle, lining your eye with something like a brown liner because it is going to add to that smoky, sultry effect. Probably more than you think it is. One of those things where you're like, oh, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but then you do it and you're like, oh, okay. It's all about the little things in makeup that really contribute to the overall. I'm gonna go into this gold in the middle of this little ochre palette that we used and apply a little bit of that to the center as well. I feel like that's really going to catch the light. Let's add some mascara. I'm just gonna use the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. I didn't curl my lashes because they're so thick lately. I've been using the Ordinary Lash Serum, but I've been finding it challenging to get my lashes on top, my fake lashes on top, after I curl them. So you can always curl them after if everything's dry and you're extra super cautious. You don't want to try to curl them with any wet product and get your lash curler stuck and rip out your lashes. I did that in high school and it was traumatizing. You know me, I'm an advocate for the bottom lash line, the bottom lashes. So get those nice and coated. You know me, it's prime real estate you're missing out on if you don't pay any attention to the bottom lash line. And I love a good blank bottom lash line as much as the next Nicki Minajer, you know? The bottom girlies. My best advice is to go in with a mascara you know you can really trust to flake off when it dries and kind of just really get in there, you know? And then you can go in with a Q-tip later and clean up whatever got on your skin. I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the lips here. She's dry. She is dry and flaky. I'm not liking that. Yo, lip scrub these lips, girls. I'm gonna use the shade Cold Brew from NYX today. Pro tip, I like to clean up my lip liner with my concealer brush with no additional product on it. Even if my lip liner is quote unquote perfect, because I feel like it makes it last so much longer. I have to go get the lip color that I want to put on and I have not made it that far yet. We're going to use a little bit of the shade Lunch Money from the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's it. Just to kind of keep up with the rosy gold theme and just add a little bit. This is going to look so good. Imagine you go get a steak dinner with your mans and it's low light and the reflect hits the center of your lid so good and you get this little pop of cheek shine. You're gonna look stunning. Okay, I got a little sidetracked when I went to go look for the lipstick because I realized I had two lipsticks in mind and I ended up putting on my jewelry and my shirt. But this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, okay, in the shade Stone, and it is beautiful. It's like a rosy mauve. I just cannot find it anywhere. It was a Wet n Wild Catsuit Gloss. Oh, this is it. And Cedar Later. I thought I had the Give Me Mocha one. We're going to swatch both of these. So this is the Wet n Wild Catsuit Cedar Later. And then this is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Stone right next to it. You can see the Maybelline one is just a little bit more brown, as this one's darker and maybe a little bit more mauve. So I think I'm going to layer them both, actually. I'm going to layer the lighter one, the Maybelline one, in the center. So I'm going to put this all over the lips. And then put the Maybelline one in the center. Just to lightly just add a little bit of, not only extra shine, but highlight to the center of the lips. That is always going to make them appear fuller. Now let's go ahead and get a lash on these eyes. You guys are going to truly dislike me for this, but I never know what lashes I'm using. Excuse me. I never know what lashes I'm using because I always just take them off and lay them around the house and then reuse them. But majority of the time they are the Magify Amazon brand lashes. You guys know, I've told you time and time again, I'm a makeup girly. I'm not a hair girly. My hair never looks good or right. And for that, I am truly sorry. I'm trying to do better, you know? I just do stuff sometimes and I'm like, why? That does not look good. There it is, this rosy, sultry, smoky Valentine's Day makeup look, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm not a hair girly. I never know what to do with my hair. It never looks good or right. I'm trying. I really am trying to be better and do better when it comes to the hair. So just please forgive me. I paired it with a brown top and some chunky hoops, some dainty rings and necklaces here. I do have what I can link linked. I have this Cartier dupe ring that I got for $10 on Amazon, and I love it. It's so comfortable. But yeah, I just feel like this is smoky, sultry, sexy, wearable, attainable no matter what your skill level with makeup is. I feel like you can pull this off. It's gonna look stunning on green eyes. It's gonna look so beautiful and rich on brown eyes, and here I am on blue eyes, and I think it looks very, very flattering. It's just so wearable. It's so timeless. It's so good, and I really am so proud of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next when it comes to makeup. I would love to have you. If you haven't subscribed yet already, please stick around. We do really fun makeup over here. And if you guys want to see more short form content about makeup, go follow my TikTok. It will be linked in the description below. I love you all. Have a great one wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!